Hi, my name is Melody Johnson, and for this week, I chose the social learning theory. And like many positivist theories, they try to explain the cause of deviance. And for this theory, we travel all the way back to the 1939, where around the same time Merton was composing the string theory, Edwin Sutherland introduced the main concept of this theory, which is differential association, claiming that deviant behavior is learned through one's interactions with others rather than the opportunities one may or may not have. About 17 years later, a gentleman who went by the name Daniel Glaser, who claimed Sutherland's theory was too of a mechanistic image of deviance, and introduced another concept that went by the name of differential identification. And around 1966, Robert Burgess and Ronald Akers contributed with their own concept, differential reinforcement. So what are these concepts? Well, back to Sutherland's, who really created the social learning theory himself. He believed that if an individual associates with people who hold deviant or criminal ideas more than people who embrace conventional ideas, the individual is more likely to become deviant. It emphasizes how ideas are more of the cause of deviance rather than people who are considered to be deviants themselves. So, let's use for our implication, we have a pair of twins who are told completely different things for the same situation. So let's say these pair of twins see a person smoking. One twin is told, hey, smoking is not cool. Let's not do that. But another twin is told, hey, smoking is pretty chill. Like, we should try that sometime. The twin, and this kind of goes on for the rest of their life, let's just assume. So the twin who is told these deviant ideas or deviant doings, he is eventually going to become deviant himself. So that's what Sutherland believed. And for the differential identification, Glaser, who claimed that Sutherland's concept was too deterministic and mechanistic, he goes on to reassure others that it's okay to associate with others who are deviant in books, movies, media, and real life, as long as the person doesn't go out of their way in identifying themselves as deviant. Though if they do so, they will eventually become one. Glaser what he believes that Sutherland fails to realize is that people, it really it matters in what the person themselves chooses or what they decide. So they can themselves be fed these deviant ideas, though as long as they choose to not be deviant, then they won't act on deviant behavior. So according to this concept, let's go back to the twins. According to this concept, it doesn't really matter what their associations are. What really matters is what they identify with. The twin who has this deviant ideas would become deviant only if he identifies and chooses to do so. And lastly, for the Burgess and Akers differential reinforcement, they believe that individuals that continue to engage in deviant activities, or individuals will continue to engage in deviant activities if they are rewarded for doing so. And a reward is basically a reinforcement, a positive outcome that comes from it. So this only encourages the individual to keep on doing what they're doing. So let's go back to the twins. The twin who wasn't really endoused with this conventional ideas has received a job, and that's his primary income. But the twin who does have these deviant ideas has resorted to conning people, and him being successful and not getting caught, and the money, of course, is his reinforcement. So because of this, he will continue to con people as a way of his income, a way of receiving money. This is kind of what I envisioned them to be, the twins. So the critiques for Sutherland's study, they found that, and as stated in the textbook, it treats the concept of differential association as if it only had to do with association itself and nothing to do with a differential. The concept is thus operated as a perception of friends' deviant attitudes and behaviors alone, not from the ideas, not from the excess of deviance over the conventional attitudes and behaviors. And for glaciers, it doesn't necessarily explain it doesn't really cause deviance. It only explains a person identifying as so. So in glaciers, there's not enough support providing that identifying with deviant people is the cause of delinquency. The theory can only work after involving oneself with deviant friends, not before. And lastly, for Burgess and Akers differential enforcement, it only explains the cause of repetition for deviance. So it really only explains the causation of repeated deviance and why some continue to get involved with deviance after committing it for the first time. Yet it cannot explain why a person initially causes it in the first place. So I'm running on time once again, but thank you for listening.